from the heart of Dubai, where tomorrow is being built today, to the world. Welcome to the CTO Show with Mehmet. Here, we redefine technology and reimagine possibilities. With Mehmet, delve into the riveting realms of AI, cybersecurity, and digital technology. Experience the thrilling highs and lows of startups. Immerse yourself in the spirit of entrepreneurship and witness the future of business innovation being written in real time. Now, without further ado, let's tune in and explore the future.
Hello and welcome back to an episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. Today, I'm very pleased joining me both co-founders of Sprints AI, Ayman Bazaraa and Bassam Sharkawy. Guys, I really enjoy when I have multiple guests on the show because very few of my episodes have more than one guest. So I'm excited. And I'm always excited to have founders from the MENA region, of course. And this is why we are here. So Ayman and Bassam, so please, tell us a little bit more about you and, your journey and what you are currently up to. So Ayman, we'll start with you.
Okay, my name is Ayman Bazaraa. I am the CEO and co-founder of Sprints. I've been working in the technology field 20 years. The past 12 years in the startups scene. I founded 3 startups. Sprints is the third one. The previous one is acquired actually a year ago by a Fortune 100 company called Arrow Technologies. And it was focused mainly on the autonomous driving software for autonomous vehicles. Maybe a little bit about why we founded Sprints. Actually, it was I would say the reflection on our region where we have amazing youth who are keen to succeed in life and to produce a high value for their mainly economy and the globe. And all the companies I worked for, actually, I worked with multiple multinationals before starting my own companies. And all the companies was the main struggle or challenge is finding the good calibers. And they were actually hiring in thousands. We are talking about very big companies. And unfortunately, they couldn't find the right people coming from universities in the region. This is why we decided to go with Sprints to bridge this gap, and actually through our guaranteed hiring programs that we will talk about together.
Sure.
But I don't want to take the mic a lot, so
No worries, no worries.
Okay.
Thank you, Ayman, for joining us. But Sam, if you can just tell us a little bit more about your journey also as well.
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you, Mehmet, so much for having us today. I'm very much excited for this episode. So my name is Bassam. I'm an engineer. I've been working in the software industry and the technology industry maybe since 2010. Sprints is my second startup. Actually, the first startup was a deep tech startup coming research based. I would say I used to work as a research assistant right after my graduation, and we made like an innovation that we wanted to make it a product, and it would be the first product in MENA coming out of a research-based company. And it was a very interesting journey actually with 2 of the top universities in Egypt. And then I joined another technological company because deep tech companies did not work very well back then. Investments were not ready for such type of companies. And if you remember that time, most of the investments were into Instagram and Facebook-like applications. It was light asset companies with a lot of software than hardware. And we had like both components since we were like a deep tech company. I then joined a US-based company and worked in US for like 5.5 years. I made 2 FDA approved products with great teams from the Middle East and 16 other nationalities. And I had like a perfect time in US working with those teams. And I really realized how much of potential that the African talents and the Middle Eastern talents have in that industry. Yet we were not branded enough. Nobody knew about the African talents or the Arab talents or the Middle Eastern talents, that they are technologists. It was not that famous, and it's still not famous that the Middle East or Africa do have like these talented technologists. However, a lot of that FDA approved code was written by Egyptian or African talents. So I came to here to realize that no, we need to be branded more. We need to do something about this. The African talents are going to be like 50% of the whole youth, and we are only like 3% of them are technologists and are globally recognized. So I came back in 2018, wanted to do a Teams as a service company. And this is when my good luck made me encounter Ayman and knew him back then. So a friend introduced us, and I said, I want to make a company that makes technologists branded, make us as technologists branded well in US and in Canada and in these 16, between these 16 nationalities that I worked with. And then we founded Sprints to do that, to upskill people, teach them how to be great technologists, how to be recognized globally, and to employ our great talents in here and to make them branded everywhere, to let everybody knows that we do have a great talent and great people actually that can do wonders.
This is music to my ears because this is a topic that I discussed a lot, outside of the podcast because, I'm a big believer also in the talents of the region and, how, the impact that they can have on not only in the, let's say, technological aspects. I look at it from impact aspect and, we're going to talk, of course, about it. So if I want to understand again, so you mentioned Ayman and Bassam, like you mentioned like some kind of uh, challenges that we have and also like some frictions that we have. If I want to ask you, what's the core mission for sprints? Like, what's your ultimate goal? I would say.
Actually, as Bassam mentioned, our region is almost 50% of the youth uh, worldwide, and this youth is growing actually. On the other side, the world is the average age is increasing. Okay, I'm talking about Europe mainly and the US as well, but it's not as severe as Europe. So here is the potential and here is the threat. And on the other side, AI is coming and it will be disrupting. It will be replacing manual and I would say, low wage jobs. This is where sprints come. Actually, our name is sprints.ai. So we came before actually the AI, I would say, revolution. Yeah. So our aim was to take this opportunity and defend against the threat. So those huge youth, all youth want high-paying jobs in the technology field and would like to be defensible against the future. And now you can understand that you really need to have a defensible career. I mean, because AI is replacing everybody. So our core objective was to graduate exceptional talent that can not only be employed locally, but to compete globally. This is our main goal, is to be able to compete globally. And reflecting on what Bassam mentioned, that the company that I worked maybe 10 years ago, this company has tens of patents coming from Egypt alone. Tens of patents, only one company. Okay, so
Wow.
if you have the right environment, you will you will be. I mean, you can really get a high value, and you can see the number of deep tech companies coming now from our region. So our goal, actually, to answer your question, is 1 billion learner. So actually, to educate everybody about AI, how to utilize AI in all kinds of specializations, whether it's deep tech or even other specialties like HR, how you can utilize AI in your recruitment, how you can utilize AI in as an entrepreneur, you can utilize AI as a financial expert, and so on. So this is our goal in terms of the learning. And on the other side is the employment. So it's not about only educating people and to create defensible, but we would like to help them in the employment. And we just launched actually a few months ago our remote hiring platform so that we can make our talents available for Europe, for the US. And actually, it's growing like, I mean, we were astonished how the demand is there, the need. Actually, our youth would like to get paid in foreign currency, to work with the companies in Silicon Valley or in AI algorithms and AI startups and so on. And on the other side, you can find talents, amazing talents, with I mean, maybe 20% of the cost or less. So it's a win-win for everybody. And this is what Bassam's saying. It's all about branding. It's all about connecting the dots. And we are extremely passionate of what we are doing. And we hope that we reach the 1 billion learner in the coming years.
Why not? I just have a question, and I think you can answer it. So what what you are doing is fantastic, Ayman and Bassam. And my question is always what we need to do more, right? Using platforms like what you're currently doing to make sure that our talents, because you mentioned they want to work for the US companies and European companies. Now, how can we encourage the local ecosystem to also go and talk to these talents and pay them what they deserve, right? So it's not like they look to migrate, sometimes now they are working remotely, which is fine. But what can be done in that space? And I think maybe you can tackle that using what you're building.
Bassam.
Yeah, like so basically, what we have seen from the international culture that are dealing with us is that they only lack the understanding of how trusted you can be to them. I mean, when Ayman was talking about his previous company with tens of patents and working with like the biggest brands out there, I'm talking about Daimler, BMW, Mercedes, and stuff like that. These are major clients with major teams all over the world. What they wanted from an Egyptian company was two things: quality and trust, right? If we can create our brand that we are trusted talents with high quality, and then we equip the talents with what it takes to deal with multicultural environments, I think these are the gap, the real gap that we want to like make it minimal in order for this thing to happen. It's good branding in trust and quality, and on the other hand, how to deal with global employers and global multinational environments and make them trust you. Look at India, for example. At the very first beginning, they had like their own strategy of conquering the world from a technological aspect. By time they became branded, regardless of anything else, they were only branded Indian technology equal Indian people. Then they worked or they are working on the quality and the trust part. So now they are taking the first places in chess, for example. They are trying from a national perspective to brand themselves, as smart people. So they first wanted to put in the head of the world that technology equal India, keep technology equal India, and then they are currently working on the quality and branding themselves as the smartest people on earth. I think they tackled it well, and what we need to do as African, Middle Eastern talents is to do the same. Trust in the African talent and high quality, since we do have highly dedicated people, bilingual. Time zones of these talents in Africa are mostly the same with Europe, and they actually on the other part of the day for US, where our talents, love to work at night and so on. So it's like part of our culture. And when it comes to payment, they are affordable prices that can make them actually wealthy in their countries. Yes, I do know that they want to be paid, or we want to be paid as we deserve. But on the other hand, the difference in currency can do a lot of cost affordability for those countries while giving our talents exposure to multinational and global tech domain. And as Ayman was mentioning, we currently have full teams hired remotely for US-based and Canada-based, Canadian-based companies who are working in LLMs, like the top-notch technology that we are seeing now. They are all from Africa, all from the Middle East, like 15 people, 20 people in the same team. This reflects one thing. This reflects nothing but trust, nothing but quality. This is what we want to be branded for, in my humble opinion. And from our side, what we are doing in our learning programs is that we are simulating the work-life environment using AI. We are simulating the global customer. We are making teams from Saudi Arabia, from UAE, from Egypt, from Nigeria, from Kenya. This way, you are creating even the multicultural environments. Yes, it's not we haven't yet integrated like the Western culture in that, but we are integrating that with AI, because AI is simulating the European or the US based customer. They are dealing with them on a professional way. The AI is simulating the customer. Let's say they are sending them emails, asking them about the projects they want or they need to deliver. They are talking about the next sprint, what are you going to do? They ask them for reports and they are reporting back. So you are simulating the work-life environment in order to equip the learners with the work, with what it takes in the work environment, so that they can graduate ready for global or local hire.
That's great. Ayman, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, actually, one of the points that the main challenge that we started as an edtech startup, and edtechs always struggle with completion rates. I'd like to back what Bassam
Right.
was mentioning. Actually, our completion rates are more than 95%, although we are
Wow.
online. Okay, so the reason behind this is all about psychology. People actually don't like to receive. People would like to engage, to produce. This is why you can work for 12 hours per day, but you cannot study alone on a laptop for 12 hours per day. And this is I don't want to mention the main competitors that we have, very famous online American edtechs. You will see completion rates 4%, 3%, because it's actually designed by professors, for professors. I mean, people who are really introverts, people who can stay actually for months to study online by themselves. But actually, the natural human being would like to socialize, like to work with people. And this is what we actually do. It's a team-based learning. It's project-based learning. Every week there's a delivery. Actually, learners evaluate each other so they understand at a professional work, actually, your peer can evaluate you and you can evaluate him. And you need to be very good team players. They will see that their progress actually could be seen by employers. So if I am one of the top smartest person, for example, in Saudi Arabia, it's there. If I'm the top Android developer in UAE, you can see. So this kind of gamification also help, especially we are talking about Gen Z, they'd like to achieve and so on. So it's very important to include this kind of social learning, team-based learning, and actually we also encourage offline activities. Through we have a lot of partnership through. We have a kind of places that actually sponsored by the government where actually they can come and work together on their projects. So this is also an actual physical part, but it's decentralized. You have the project to deliver, and you know that by delivering those projects, you will be seen by employers. You are creating the portfolio even where the employers, when they start interviewing you, will see your progress and what the type of projects that you have. And finally, AI can scale this, and this is for the first time in history where really you can democratize education. Before, it was not possible. If you want a quality like MIT or Stanford, actually for hundreds, maybe thousands, but not millions and billions. And this is what we are actually trying to do. And maybe, Mehmet, if you can take your voice now and maybe some videos, you can see us producing content with hundreds of languages just by taking your shape and your voice. And this is how you can really support multi languages, and you can really customize. And this would be the first time even to personalize the experience. Since 5 years, we start all journeys by assessments. We start by assessments to know your gaps. You receive a report why you are not employable, why you are not employable. And actually, you can generate, or the modules are created based on these gaps. So you know that this journey is for you. And if you finish it, you are now ready to get employed. So this is also the first time in history where actually the learning journey depends on the person.
That's a great, Ayman, to hear. And I work in education for some time in my career, and I can relate few things. Now, in education, usually, and we know this also, and I'm curious to know, have you implemented this or any plans? So, because to your point, when I was going, we will not name any of the competitors. When I went to any of the famous online education, so my challenge is it's so 1970s, 80s designed in a way that I used to get bored, right? Because it's just giving me information, which is okay. I can open maybe YouTube and have the same thing, right? The thing that excited me online, if I have to do some practical, stuff like the capstone, what they call them, projects. So have you been able also to find a way to make this, more interactive for the people who comes to sprints and try to learn something, like how you tackle this, I would say, issue or challenge?
Thank you
Even
so
Sam
much.
is smiling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Please go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Thank you so much for asking such a great question. Actually, that was our aim from day one, is not to have what the educational psychologists call YouTube experience. You named it, you nailed it. YouTube experience is all about next, 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 to fill the completion rates and say, hey, he completed 30%. We are going to give him a certificate after the minor skill that he took, without any evidence that they can really do what she told him to do. So what we have thought of from the perspective of the work-life environment, no one, and I mean no one in the work-life environment or work environments locally or globally, do something theoretical. It's practical all the way. And no one does anything on his own or on her own. So on our approach, they are gathered into groups. Our learners are gathered into groups from day one. So this is what Ayman called earlier the social aspect of learning or the social learning. From the day you are in a community, whether it's a small community on your group or is a bigger community of the cohort or everybody who is taking the same module with you. So first you start with an assessment, you assess your gaps, you start your own journey or module with people who are at the same level of you. You don't have any variations in the level since we personalize the same journey for them all or different journeys for them all. And then we start doing this together. And by calling doing this is all about practice. On a weekly basis, they have tasks and a capstone project. And our name is sprints because we are dividing the journey on weeks, which is sprints on the agile framework. So they have every sprint, which is every week, they have a capstone project or some tasks to do together. They are reviewing them together. They are putting them all and using the tools GitHub and doing with Slack channels and integrating or communicating in English. So they are living the life of work life and the practicality of it. And when they finish, they have now a portfolio of projects, 10, 12, 15 projects that are industry-like projects. So they are now equipped with what the industry needs, and thus they are employable. And thus the completion rates are high. Why? Because they are not seeing or watching the videos for the sake of watching the videos for completion. They are watching the videos and researching in order to get the project done. And that's the ultimate goal. And I will use an example that Ayman is always using, which is, do you remember when at college you were the most time you were excited and interested in what you're doing? At the graduation project groups. Why? Because you only have guidance, and what you want to do is to come up with an output that you can see it with your own eyes and say, hey, I did this. So we are trying to make the completion rates high by increasing the sense of achievement, by each and every week they are doing, hey, I did this. That's our methodology that is actually doing marvels when it comes to completion rates and to the sense of I'm now upskilled. I'm now sure that I took that theory and I applied it into something that I can see.
That's music to my ears, Bassam. Now, I'm gonna ask a follow-up question, and both of you can answer. It's great that you're doing this approach, but why do you think our education system is still stuck? Because to your point, you just also like hit it on the head of the nail. Yeah. Like I was only excited in my graduation project, right? And I can only remember what I work on graduation project, nothing else. I didn't use anything that they taught us, right? So this is a fact. I studied engineering, computer engineering. I'm not saying it was useless, but again, now the question is, of course, what you're doing is great, but how much this is, do you see it as a challenge? Because still, unfortunately, even the Gen Zs are, like, I would say, graduating from the same outdated program. So because we need acceleration. But Sam, you just mentioned something a few minutes ago about the talent in Africa and in the Middle East. And I am with you because, I receive, sometimes pitch decks, and I receive like projects proposals from these folks, especially in Africa And I would name like few countries: Egypt, Kenya, and South
Yeah.
Africa,
South
right?
Africa.
Yeah. So, and these guys are brilliant guys. So like how all together with what you're doing, we can even also go and tackle the universities and even maybe the schools.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll leave
Maybe
this
I can
line.
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm so happy with the question, Mehmet. I think you are with us in the, with experience and discussing the strategy for the next year and the coming years. Okay. Actually, we totally agree. And when we started with guaranteed hiring programs, we started with graduates, university graduates, and we guarantee hiring where they can pay after being hired. So we link the success of our objective, or helping you get hired, with the payment method. After this, we started integrating our programs in the universities. And actually, we have many universities actually integrating our curricula as part of their natural curricula, where they actually own credit hours when you finish one of our programs. We also partnered with the Ministry of IT and Higher Education, multiple programs, where actually we started landing jobs for university students after taking our programs. Okay, so part-time jobs or internships, but long-term internship that they can do in parallel with their work. So we are going this side in order to scale this. And I want to tell you, actually, our first pitch for spreads was to is a university. The first, and actually our first check was, let's do a university, but the problem is, the bureaucracy, that we don't want. Let's integrate and disrupt from the outside. What we are doing right now, we have a huge team, R&D team, where actually they are doing amazing things. And actually, would invite you to come and visit our R&D lab. You'll see amazing things happening. What you are planning this year, actually, to open what we are doing for the universities, where they can use our engine to generate content, to validate that they have, to generate projects for the curricula, to design the journey, and also to utilize our coding labs and all what we have developed as a platform as part of the experience. Also, the AI coach, we have AI coaches that is trained on the curricula that can help the students to engage and so on. And actually, we are deploying a very nice new feature where actually there would be an AI team mate with the team, because we believe in team-based learning or social learning. So we'll have a kind of a bot with you that actually part of the team that can engage and also act as a teammate as well. So by utilizing this, you can really disrupt the education, because the content would be very advanced at this point of time, because you are utilizing AI to improve, and the experience will be engaging because students will be interacting with the platform. So by this, you can really improve, I would say, the education and disrupt it. And I would say, really, university, because we're talking with ministries, universities, they are extremely open for this, because everybody is afraid if they don't jump as soon as possible, it will be really impacting everybody, the staff, the students, and so on. On the other side, I would say the problem with the current educational systems, whether on the school level and university, because that's the question, why this didn't happen before. First, AI wasn't there, okay? So AI can really personalize, can engage, can enhance. So AI is the accumulation of the human knowledge, and this could be better than any professor, university professor, or teacher. However, for us, why we are different? Actually, I would say because all our management team, of course, we have PhD holders, we have people, who did amazing things. But again, all of them work in the business field, and this is the different thing. We know the market, and so we know the needs, and we are able to bridge the gap. And this I would say, the problem with school teachers and university professors, that they didn't have this kind of exposure. And actually, one PhD holder was applying to us. He's actually professor staff professor, and he wanted to join one of our guaranteed hiring boot camps. So I told him, you are old now, you are a PhD holder, actually from the US, and you want to switch, and actually from engineering, I would say civil engineering, okay? Why you want to switch at this and learn programming? It's too late. He told me, actually, Ayman, I am failing my students. I believe I am not employable to teach them how to get employed. I never had this kind of market and industry experience in the civil, so I cannot teach them how to be amazing employees and really disrupt and engage. So this is the problem. They are disengaged. And here we are trying to do and help and enable and availing or making our platform and the learning experience available for everybody so that it can enhance and improve the learning experience for everybody.
Like this is fascinating, honestly, because the change it's coming, and I'm happy to hear that you're already working with some educational institutions.
Change is
And
here.
it's here, absolutely. And this brings the question that I had in my mind, because you talked about the social experience, and for example, the example you just gave. So what I'm seeing recently, and of course AI accelerated this, no doubt, like we are tending to go with more a cohort based approach, where you have like a group of people sharing the same mission, let's say, or maybe they have the same short or long term goals, I don't know. And I immersed myself last year, by the way, in one of these cohorts. It's not like because I don't know the technology, just I wanted to see the experience. So are we seeing, and both you can answer this, are we seeing like more cohort-based education is the norm now, where you interact with people online, and then sometimes maybe, and I've seen it, by the way, I've seen like two people come to the cohort, they become co-founders, for example, and sometimes another guy sees another guy in the cohort and say, hey, you know what, I could employ you. So are we seeing like more this is the normal rather than the, I would say, classroom based approach moving forward in the
But
age
Sam,
of AI?
yeah, I will say something, and I'm sure that you want to answer this
Please.
question, but I would say something that part of our core belief, we don't believe in self-paced learning or anything self-paced,
Yeah.
because that will always postpone things. Okay, so I mean, we believe in time boxed, and from day one it was time boxed. But again, time box could be simulated. Yeah, I mean, you can have people together, and there is a kind of simulation that you have to finish at this point of time. Otherwise, you'll be kicked from the experience. Okay, you have also when you engage with the teammates, you have commitments with time. So time is crucial. When you call it cohort, there might be millions of people learning at the same time, okay? But again, it's all about time boxing the experience. Sorry, Bassam, if you'd like to, yeah.
No. That's actually very important. I want you, Mehmet, to picture this an online experience for university students where they have to deliver a project every 2 weeks. They have like office hours for the professors and teaching assistants, and from day one they are working on groups for a self-paced time box with a project, and they are working together as if they are in a huge graduation project. Some of them will be smart enough to finish their semester in 1 month, and some of them will need more time to finish their semester in 3 or 4 months. Some of them can graduate earlier than others. They only have the journey and they have the support from their professors and teaching assistants. How do you picture this? What do you think about it? Wouldn't you this would make means?
Adding on this, that the payment could be linked to the duration. So incentivize early.
Exactly.
Other platforms, actually, they don't care. You don't care about completion, but
Right.
they are impact driven. Would like people to get actually, because monetize actually from employment as well, Mehmet. So it's for good for us, for people to finish
Exactly.
as early as possible to advance. So actually, we incentivize people finishing early.
So what I'm saying is what Ayman was saying earlier, with our AI system that we are doing on the back end, we are currently availing it for universities and saying, hey, you can come and put to that AI agent all what you have from the materials that you have. And we are going to put it in a journey exactly like this. We're going to distribute it into a well curated education model based on the model, great practical model, and we will put it in a gamified way, and we will guide you and give you the guide, the trainer guide and the learner guide, in order to have an amusing, engaging, customized learning journey. We are building this, we built this already, and we are using it, and we are availing it now to educational institutes. Come and digitize your learning journey and put it in an experience that can be really engaging and really impactful. We have tried this ourselves, and we want to help others to do the same because its impact is huge. What they can do is that they can disrupt education with only a political will, whether it's a university, whether it's a government. They can impose that disruption into their systems by only using a very simple model, distributing the journey and transforming it into an engaging journey, empowering youth in order to complete and incentivize them to complete faster, and providing them with internships and jobs in order to make them employable faster. This way they can impact their lives better in less time. And it's not cohort based as you mentioned, and it's not one size fits all. If I'm smart, why should I wait for 5 years? If I'm extremely smart or passionate, if I'm in need for a job more than anyone else, why would I wait for the same 5 years? I need to get that job in like 2 years to support my family or support myself. So there is huge impact and disruption that can get into our societies just by disrupting education into an engaging, impact-driven model that is, have you ever heard of an edtech company that is powered by the industry? That's what Ayman was saying earlier. We as the founders and the full management team are industry related. They are thinking of the learner with the impact mindset. It's not academics to academics. With all due respect to all academics, they are our teachers, our professors, and we have learned a lot from them. But this era is it's not just about academics. It's about how to engage those generations and make them be impactful to their societies and their lives faster. Absolutely. And this way, it needs to be disrupted. And we are offering kind of a solution. It might not be the best, but at least start with it and let's iterate on it together. We have seen that it has been impactful. It's been behind more than 80% of whoever passes through it. So please take it and then see how you can improve it.
To me, Bassam, it also, and Ayman, like what you have done is closing the circle, not only with the, designing, and putting the materials over there and, the way the time boxing one is closing the loop with finding job opportunities for them. So, and I think this is something I didn't see it even in the US famous ones also as well. And I think this is really, really big. And you mentioned like you did some placement. Now, when it comes in a very fast changing demand in the industry now, especially from technology perspective, like how do you make sure also like whatever you have in place gonna stay relevant and you are able also to bring the newest things at the speed that it should be brought? So how do you do this balance?
I would say from our name, Spins.ai. So AI actually helps a lot. Because now the content is generated. It's not previously we used to our high quality studios to produce content. Now actually it's through people who are generated through deepfake technology and lip syncing happening, and actually you can customize the person based on the learner. So if it's in Africa, might be a Nigerian lady presenting. If it's in Saudi Arabia, maybe a guy wearing glasses. And actually, maybe in the future releases from our platform, we can customize the learner. The learner can pick who's the avatar that I'd like to receive learning from.
Nice.
So yeah. So again, it's much easier now. Before you need to reproduce thing. Now, as you can really maintain and enhance and auto-generate again, it's much easier. Yeah, this is why I'm saying really education now should be for all. There is no the really high quality, scalable education for the first time in history. It should be available for everybody.
Bassam, you want to add something?
Yeah, actually, a very small thing. As Ayman was saying, AI is making it faster and is disrupting it. And we work in technology, right? So we already have our process of researching the job market needs periodically every month to 3 months. It depends on the domain that we are researching. So with this process, we had to either change or edit or even change the whole curriculum of our specific programs related to a specific field, depending on what is happening on ground from a job perspective, not from the academia the academia perspective or just the research. If the market needs something different, we are going to change our programs to fit it in, because we are looking at the employability, not just the learning. As you were saying, we are trying to close the loop from learning to employment, and not just local employment at your country. We are bridging that to global and remote jobs, so that you can get the global exposure and work in the cutting edge technologies, what they call the latest and greatest technologies around the world. And AI is disrupting this, making it way easier for us. We used to do this from day one, but with a lot of operational hassle. Now the full operational hassle are being disrupted with AI. And I can say that we don't have like a 400 experts from 13 countries around the world, to consult us and do the projects, the programs with us. They are from the industry with the 10 to 15 years of experiences, because we only use experts who are into the industry, as I said, because we want employability at the end. We are kind of utilizing those experts better, now with their mindset and sharing the experiences, not just with clarifying and recording videos, because we are doing that operational part using AI already. We're utilizing their brains in how to make the latest and greatest use cases put into our programs, rather than reshooting and re-recording, as Ayman was mentioning. So I would say we are, with AI, we are disrupting the whole operational model, and we are being even faster with keeping pace with the technology. Some of the programs related to AI are being updated on bi-weekly basis, because we have a lot of news coming in, a lot of stuff are being updated. So it's crazy. And with AI, with the help of AI, we can keep pace with that and with the job market.
That's great to hear, Bassam. Now tell me about the expansion, on a global level. I know like you operate mainly on, the African slash Middle Eastern market, and you serve companies, I mean, for the placement in the US and Europe. So currently, like where geographically are you able to serve, and what are like the future plans for expansion?
Yeah, I would add, and then Ayman can, of course, follow. Um,
Sure.
we are currently working in, of course, Egypt, the country where we started, in Saudi Arabia, in UAE. We are working closely with the governments and governmental entities in order to upskill hundreds and thousands of talents over there. We are working in Nigeria. We are upskilling Nigerian talents and Nigerian entrepreneurs when it comes to AI, because we believe that AI is our only chance to keep pace with the whole world, maybe in the upcoming 50 years. We are in Nigeria, we are doing that with AI. We are expanding into Jordan as well.
Mhm.
We are going next in our plans to Kenya and South Africa as well. And this is for learning and upskilling talents and getting them ready for the market. And for the global employment market, our talents currently are in US, in Canada, in Germany, in UK, in Switzerland, in New Zealand, um, all over the world, different employers. We are currently in contact with some of the major Canadian research labs in AI, because they have their own incubators and accelerators, where they have a lot of startups that can need African, Egyptian, and Middle Eastern talents, AI talents specifically. And we do believe, as I said before, it's our only chance to keep up with the pace of the world, because the new AI is not coming, at least in the next 50 years. I mean,
Right.
please.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all, Bassam. Maybe I can add that our programs are open for everybody. I mean, when we talk about specific countries, it's all about directing our marketing efforts
Right.
towards acquisition. But again, it's a global platform. Anyone can actually get there and and be trained and to be employed. And for the remote hiring, actually, we have companies in Egypt actually utilizing remote hiring. So it's for everybody. But again, the major markets is the markets where Bassam mentioned, whether US, Europe, and maybe Australia and New Zealand as well. But again, it's open for everybody.
That's, again, I'm very passionate about, anything that can have impact. And this is, is leading me to the next question. And both of you, but I mean, like you're a serial entrepreneur, and Bassam also same for you. So how are you hoping what you're doing is to have more of course, don't get me wrong. We started to see the ecosystem much better than, I remember when I used to talk about, startups in 2011 and 2010, people used to mock me like, are you crazy? What startups here in the Middle East or this region? Now, of course, different world, and we are seeing a lot. But how you are hoping, because see, you're getting the talents, the technology that allows them to build real technology product. Don't get me wrong again, consumer startups are great, but how are you hoping this will let us have more real technology startups starting from Africa? I'm very bullish on Africa, by the way, based on the conversation I have, and also like the talents in Egypt, in Jordan, in the UAE, Saudi. So how you are hoping this will get an impact on having more technology startups starting from our region? Whoever want to start first.
Maybe I can start. Yeah, I mean, so actually, we truly believe in what we're doing, Mehmet. I mean, this is why actually we picked our region because Middle East and Africa, really any change you do, it can really change lives. What we're doing actually, we are, I would say, helping in creating a better future for this region. You are enabling people with that top-notch technology where we would make ourselves valuable for our economy, our society, and actually for the world, because you'll be producing, and I mean, value for everybody. And we are, I would say, the solution for every problem for any country that we have, it's all about education and employment, because education, building the mind, and employment, you produce the value. So we are tackling, I would say, the most important aspect and challenge in this region, and this is why we do believe this would be really the fuel for every startup, because any startup would like to have amazing talents to be able to develop amazing products that they can sell worldwide. So
Right.
and this is why actually our first customers are startups, because those are people who actually believe in what we are doing. They need people. We are working agile from day one, so people can really engage with startups. And actually, we are talking about startups in our local economy. We are talking about startups all over the globe as well. So we are enablers for startups. We are enablers for SMEs, and our economy is again backed with SMEs is the backbone, and of course the multinational corporates. I mean, big companies is also our customers. So are actually sourcing, I would say, the fuel and the real assets for the growth of all the companies there, which will actually boost the economy. And I would say the companies that I mentioned that are producing patents, they didn't start from day one producing patents. I mean, after iterations and iterations, they are producing tens of patents, maybe hundreds now, some companies every year. So this is how things and this company that I'm mentioning, actually, you will see more than 10 companies are spin-off coming from it. Okay, more than 10 companies. So this is how you and now you're starting seeing unicorns for the first time in our region. So again, I would say we'd be helping and enabling everybody to be able to compete in this extremely competitive world at this very struggling and challenging time and era.
Bassam, you want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, I hear and feel you and what you said about the ecosystem. And no, we're not getting you wrong. Let's be honest. We have been lagging behind for years. My first startup was like co-founded in 2012. And we were doing like a deep tech product, same as what Nest was doing in US. Nest got acquired with $3.2 billion, and we were struggling with finding like peanuts in order just to survive. And I'm not like jealous or something, maybe a little bit jealous, but I mean, the ecosystem was not ready and we were lagging behind, and we are still lagging behind. I will not repeat what Ayman said. I believe in every single word that he said, but I'm saying as well, I'm following up that in this era, it's the AI era, where those talents and these minds, when you employ them with global tech companies remotely, they are getting the top-notch technology inside their home countries. They are not traveling, they are not relocating. The science, the amount of science and experience that they are going to get in their minds can eventually, and this is not too long, I mean, it's in the mid-term, not long-term, we are going to see different minds in our ecosystems in Middle East and Africa. We are going to see brilliant minds do have the exposure and do have the technical ability that can do more startups. And now with AI facilitating doing a startup, and Sam Altman said, we're going to see soon the one or the single founder or the single employee company. The AI is facilitating having a huge product, SaaS product, or a product-based company that is in no time is built and delivering value to the whole world. It just needs an idea and awareness with AI. Two things. And we do have the talents and the mindset that have brilliant ideas, and they just want to be equipped with AI to boom. And third, the mature ecosystem and mature investments that can see the opportunity to take this forward. And I think this is the time for this. And I'm a true believer in our talents who are getting quality learning and definitely delivering value through employment or startups.
Ayman and Bassam, I just want to say something, and like people knows me. I don't do like fake compliments, and I talk always, what I think. I remember 6 months ago, I was, I'm fascinated by startups. Like I work for startups companies myself. So I wanted to see why, all the doom and gloom about Silicon Valley. And then, of course, history is there. But I wanted to do the research again and refresh my mind. One of the main things comes first. They have Stanford University, and they have, this big, research centers and people where they can go and do their applied learning over there. And then, of course, they had, the HPs of the world and, the big, semiconductors company of the world, where these graduates, they go there and they, they apply and then they spin out some startups. So what I see by democratizing, the learning, what you're doing currently at Sprint is exactly, of course, because now AI is allowing you to do so and it's allowing us. So I think you are on the right path, and I'm hoping, more people discovers what you're doing, because I think we need this to take the ecosystem to the next level, right? Because nothing is missing. By the way, we have capital. People, they say we don't have capital in the Middle East. No, we have. I mean, of course, it's hard to take it, but we have it. But the education, as I think is very important. And thank you for what you're doing. So, we're almost done. So just before we go, want to ask where people can find more about Sprints and how they can get in touch. So whoever wants to answer this.
Yes,
Yeah, our website's at sprints.ai. You can go there, whether you'd like to get trained to get employed, or maybe you have an amazing talent and like to find a remote job. So this also could be your place. Or even if you are a startup, would like to reduce cost, have a very high quality calibers. Also, this is the right place. So I mean, we are there for everybody to help them, and we are extremely happy, Mehmet, to meet you today. I mean, it was I didn't feel the time actually. Thank you for reminding us why we are there, why we are here, why we're serving everybody. So it was really engaging, and I'm really pleased to have this discussion with you.
Yes, thank you so much, Mehmet, for having us. It was a really lovely time. And for everybody, follow us in all social media to see our upcoming news. Thank you so much, Mehmet, for more opportunity.
Sure. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the links in the show notes so people, they don't have to struggle and go search online. So I will make the life easy. Ayman and Bassam, thank you very much again, for being with me here today. I really appreciate your time. And this is for the audience. Guys, if you just discovered this podcast, first thing, go to sprints.ai and then follow us and do whatever you do. And for the people who keeps coming, thank you for, encouragement, and thank you for, keeping us in the top charts in many countries. And I appreciate this. So keep, following us and sending your suggestions. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we meet again very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hit that subscribe button, share the show with your tech-savvy friends and fellow entrepreneurs, and leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. Your support means the world to us.